We watched the season finale of Creature Commandos, A Very Funny Monster.
Before we start, we do not hate James Gunn and the DCU.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
He's our hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
He's something to be judged against. Come on.
However, I thought this finale episode was bad.
See, and I disagree. I enjoyed it. I'm very saddened,
By
but
what?
I enjoyed it. Because
sorry.
we lost Fish Woman.
You don't know her name.
Nina.
What was the point of her character in this show?
Zero.
Thank you. That's the whole. That's
She
what I've
was
been
the
wondering.
good of them all.
That doesn't even make sense, because, like, the only one who's actually bad, that, like, actually chose to be bad, is Dr. Phosphorus. He's the only one who actually chose to be a criminal after getting transformed.
Nina wasn't even a
Yeah,
criminal.
I think, well, maybe he didn't choose it. Maybe it chose him because he was put through some excruciating stuff.
I also hate how every one of their backstories is the exact same. There was a person that I really loved that got murdered in front of me, and then I became evil.
Well, maybe that's why they're all together.
But Nina was not even a
Why
criminal.
was she in the prison?
I get why she's in prison, but I don't get why
Why?
she's in maximum security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
There's
the rest
no-
of those people.
Well, because
Right.
she's different. That's why.
Because she's a fish
different.
monster.
But there's a lot of people around that are different. That they're
Oh,
not
I know.
Well,
necessarily.
there's
Yeah.
other metahumans, like those two Scottish guys.
just very strange. Even when they killed her father in front of her, she didn't attack anybody.
Yeah.
No.
I did
She couldn't
call
attack
out
him.
that she probably was just going to be arrested for, like, being in waters that she wasn't allowed to be in.
That's what I
Yep.
said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, there's a difference between being arrested and going to jail and being arrested and being put in with
The monsters.
Yeah.
people that have murdered,
Even if you're gonna look at it from the point of view of it's to show that not all the monsters are bad and like she just wanted to be like a regular person, it doesn't fucking work if you just have her disappear every episode until you want to give her tragic backstory.
Her only point in the show is that she was to become a dependent character on The Bride.
to show that the bride could have a friend.
Or have empathy.
Even when she cries, it's just like, who cares? Because it's like you didn't fucking know her and you didn't really like her. That
I feel like
much.
it's also ruined by her.
She knew her more than
I-
she did.
It's ruined. You're defending it too much.
Yeah, like, I think she knew her more than she did. Like, you're just assuming something about a fucking
But-
fake character.
My biggest issue with her relationship is that, like, it ends with the bride just fucking bullying her into being a monster.
Yeah. Also, Nina's the only one that could do this. No, actually, she's not. Like, any of them could have gone into the water and done that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Could they stay under that long?
They probably can't stay under that long, but you're going to tell me Phosphorus can't turn the water into lava? The
Or
bride's a
boil-
fucking
or
assassin?
Literally boil
her
to death,
alive.
you know.
Probably could have
Yeah.
boiled her
I mean,
alive.
even if me and AJ watched a video by the Nando cut, but he was just saying, like, they could have had a gun and shot her to death in the water.
Exactly.
I thought the whole thing was to try to do it and not be seen.
Obviously, yeah, like, you want to go in and get out,
Yeah.
but they knew the Commandos at this
Go
point.
there,
But, like,
slit her throat
They
under
knew
the
that they
water.
were coming also.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
and if she, like, she was being watched, so, like, if she just disappeared under the water and there was blood a little bit later, then, like,
But
they'd
they
go
would have
after
been
her.
gone by then.
All I
Yeah.
know is you have a character that has showed no sign of aggression to anyone, and all of a sudden you're going to say, go in the water and murder her. Here's a knife.
Yeah, and, like, why even put her on the team?
Yeah.
She's
there's
clearly like
so
a
many
liability.
issues.
You know,
and there's other characters that are introduced at the end here. So it's like, why didn't we just put any of those
Yeah.
fucking characters on the team?
Yeah.
Instead of the one that can't fight, can't breathe, and just like needs water to even be semi-useful.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in the beginning, I remember us saying, well, maybe she's like super intelligent. She's going to help them figure out
Yeah.
something.
Okay,
She didn't do
so
that.
something in the video that me and AJ watched is, like, that's her role on the team in the comics. Like, she's the tech person, pretty much.
Okay.
So,
She didn't
But
even
she
do
didn't do
any
any
of
of
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she pretty much, like, almost starts the team by making the monsters in the first place. So it's just interesting. They didn't
Well,
adapt that at all.
She's gone.
It's nice
Yeah.
to know the first 2 minutes in and we're ripping it to hell already.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think it's like inherently a terrible show.
Right. No.
Yeah, it's not a terrible show.
It's just pretty flawed. And
agree.
it's just not my favorite
I'm
thing
more
James Gunn's
upset
done.
with the upgrade of
G.I. Robot.
G.I. Robot.
Yeah, I think that's dumb.
I think that was a dumb upgrade.
And
I-
I think it's kind of just like, again, playing to some of the old same beats where it's like, oh, Groot got blowed up, let's make him
Yeah.
small
Yeah.
and then big.
I don't like it.
I will defend it there. I like it. He looks chunky.
Yeah, he's a big chunky robot now.
I don't like
know what to think.
He's fluffy.
The bride obviously killed the princess at the end because she's seen the princess with Clayface. All right. Now, so was it the real professor that told Walla that Cersei was telling the truth, go kill the princess.
No. This is actually a part that I kind of like as like a twist. Like that specific part of it being a twist where
Rick Flag thinks it's Clayface.
Yeah.
who talked to Waller, but Clayface started when the professor went to the
So,
and did the lesbians shit.
right.
Yeah.
And that's
So
why she was
what
so
the
much
hell
more
was the point of
professional.
that at all?
It's a part that I don't actually like that the princess did, but she wanted to get Clayface to basically undermine her authority, the professors, for Waller, so that they think that
She was
the
crazy.
vision is fake.
But that never happened.
Because
Yeah.
Flag fucking almost dies.
Yeah,
and
he's
doesn't
just
kill
gone for
anyone.
2 episodes.
The vision is real. It's meant so that they think it's fake because Clayface is involved.
Because they thought that Clayface was working for Cersei as opposed to working for the princess
Yeah.
at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he never counteracted what the original professor said. There's no point where he
The
goes
whole
back
thing
and
was that
says,
he was always supposed to be the professor, so that means that like he was always just a plant for Cersei, supposedly.
So Waller thought when she called it off that the professor was fake in the beginning.
The issue is that Flag never gets to tell this to anybody.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's only a twist for us and not them, not
Well,
the characters, really.
He told it to Waller,
Waller.
like right at the
I mean,
end.
kinda.
Yeah.
He was just
So.
like,
he told Waller that Clayface was the professor.
Yeah.
not really even. He was just like
Yeah.
McPherson, not McPherson,
Yeah.
or whatever her
Yeah,
name
And
right.
then they went to the house
And they
and
went
found
to
And
the
then
house
they
and
figured
found
it
her
out.
dead.
Yeah. But it also just doesn't make sense to me that mastermind, grandmaster of politics and Machiavellian shit would like get Clayface when he's like so clearly to anybody like he wouldn't be able to go through with the plan because he almost fucking killed
Flag.
Rick Flag
Yeah.
and Frankenstein, who were the only 2 people who could have gotten the message out.
And is there like a civilization of Clayfaces, or is it just him? Because he's dead.
Allegedly.
I think that's a fake out death out of like the
It is
7 in the
probably a
show.
fake out death. Yeah.
I don't know. He looked pretty dead.
So
Got
they
teeth
found
and
him again.
everything.
Yeah.
They, it's
I
been a
don't know.
while, and he was still.
I'll just kind of chop it up to he's Clay.
Yeah, but
You know.
Jack says if there's a piece of him that could
He's
get
kind of
away.
like symbiote.
Yeah.
In the vision, Gorilla Grodd is like seemingly a part of all of it, and he never shows up.
Yeah, true.
So that's something to, I guess, think about going into season 2. I don't even know if we're going to see Rick Flag in season 2. Don't think he's part of the team anymore.
Well, it seems that the bride runs the team now.
Yeah.
I think 7 episodes of Frankie trying to get back to the bride so that she could pop him in 2 seconds is kind of.
He was in a fight with Clayface. He mauled everything else. Flag put a gun to his eye because I can't shoot
Yeah,
you anywhere
yeah.
else. And then he's on the ground full of holes. Okay, so he survived, but he was in pretty bad shape there for a while.
But I mean, he worked so hard
Yeah.
through the 7 episodes to get to the bride.
He's also kind of another one that's just like a catalyst of nothing character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of the Frank. I do love the bride, though.
My favorite character.
Yeah. Most well-developed character
Yeah.
throughout the whole thing.
You picked the
certainly.
wrong fucking whorehouse.
A list of all the fake out deaths. Nina and the Bride from episode 2, G.I. Robot from episode 3, Rick Flag Sr., Frankenstein, and probably Clayface. Overall, the most interest I had in a backstory was with Dr. Phosphorus. He's the only one who actually went out of his way to be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely the most villainous of the whole group, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have
The
to
rest
agree.
of them seem
And I still like him.
more of circumstance. Like, I understand that he was created from bad circumstance, but
But he still has empathy. I
He-
mean, we saw
yeah.
him with the
he
child.
does have
Yeah.
empathy
You know?
for
Yeah.
children, I suppose. Other than that, though,
I mean, like, so does fucking Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
So.
I suppose.
I love when Weasel was making noises in the woods.
Yeah.
And he's like, should we put him down? I was just joking.
Just feeling it out.
yeah. He, though, is the only one that actually seemed to be of any importance in the criminal underworld.
Yeah.
The rest of them are kind of just, freaks that...
Yeah.
Other than, like, maybe Frankenstein, but
Yeah.
I don't know. He kind of seemed like
just a
he was doing
murderous-
most of the work himself.
He's just
for
a real
forcing people to.
murderous monster.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think my favorite backstory is got to be the bride.
I think that one's just interesting because it actually connects to the ongoing story.
well, just the
See
sheer
her
timeline.
react very normally to watching someone you love get murdered in front of you.
Well, she's had to probably see it through centuries.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So that to me was my favorite backstory.
Yeah. Dr. Phosphorus in this episode he's like, I haven't been touched in 15 years,
Yeah.
which means that the Batman has been around for 15 or more years.
No.
Well, it depends on how quickly he took everything over from guy who killed his family,
I
Well,
guess,
that's
but
true.
or like however long he
Yeah.
was running for. So I mean, it's still like
still
10 years
seems like
probably.
he's a pretty, established Batman.
Yeah.
Right.
I
correct,
like that
yeah.
the bride always comes up with some nickname for him. She called him
Yeah.
Ghost Rider this
Yeah.
one, so I
And
thought
you said
that's
they
pretty cool.
mentioned Star City.
Star City and Metropolis.
And-
I'm honestly curious what they're gonna do with like Batman stuff. I wouldn't be shocked if we have the Bat family off the bat.
I don't like how the backstories were integrated into the show. They depended on if you found them interesting or not, because other than the bride, they had no connection to the ongoing plot.
I especially disliked it in the finale episode because I felt like it was too predictable and almost very forced.
Yeah, her death just felt meaningless to me because
Mhm.
like it didn't help anyone really.
I'm just not gonna pretend like she was built up for 6 episodes before this when she
Yeah.
wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of just disappeared.
She was
For
there.
Some of the best humor and like action humor is probably from Phosphorus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Though I have to say, there's some good dry humor out of the bride.
Yeah.
Best thing the show succeeded at was building the universe. There were a lot of connections to the characters and cities. I think the show set up well that there are a lot of metahumans on the planet.
Yeah. The fact that something that doesn't even necessarily have to do with the Commandos is my favorite thing about this so far, is how expansive the universe feels.
Mm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great, and I think it's a thing that a lot of the MCU projects suffer from, is not doing that.
Exactly.
Mhm.
However, I think something like Agatha is significantly more well written and like contained for just being something I want to follow week to week.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This was not a struggle to follow week to week just because it was enjoyable enough to watch. But when I really had to start thinking about it is where my brain started to just fucking unravel.
I agree with you that they do a better job than the MCU of inclusion
And world building.
in the universe that they're in.
Mhm.
Because the MCU, you're never really sure.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
like this, like you said, the mention of the cities, the little cameos by Batman, and it was good. It was really good. It
Yeah.
was enjoyable.
even like the Batman thing with Phosphorus, like that has significant impact on his character. It's like the
Sure,
reason
yeah.
that he is
Sure.
on this team.
There's a lot of stuff in the show that's not necessarily going to be developed in the show. Most of it is going to be in like Batman, for example,
Yeah.
with Dr. Phosphorus. Like we might see him as a villain or something,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
a lot of stuff in this will be shown in other projects.
Yeah, I can't even
I agree.
imagine what they're gonna do for season 2 of this show.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make it kind of stale. I know we have some new team members that we'll get into, but I guess it's just like the Commandos are assigned to another mission.
Mhm.
Like I wonder if it's going to be like they saw Gorilla Grodd in the Vision.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe.
I thought the music were good picks, but something about them just didn't work while watching. It might just be because it's like a shorter show or
Mhm.
episodes, but like
Mhm.
it feels like they just extended a lot of the scenes too much.
I didn't like the Doors cover.
No?
I mean, I like that song.
Mhm.
I didn't like where it fit into the episode.
James Gunn is the type of guy who like he builds scenes around songs, but I feel like for this it just hinders it more than like Guardians of the
Especially
Galaxy.
just like people are like it's like you're really trying to push these are monsters in a monster hating society. Like
Mhm.
they're weird people because they're monsters. You're like, yeah, I know. Doesn't make me care about Anina. She's a monster.
But I care.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Dad's got the hots for
No, I just liked her.
Fish
She
girl.
was just a nice fish.
nice fish.
She didn't deserve to die.
So, yeah, you're right. Technically, shouldn't really have anything going.
it feels like they built the twist after realizing her death didn't really like matter at all.
Mm-hmm.
Without that, she would have just died because, I don't know. Weirdly, the show did not feel driven by the characters. The results of the show would have been the same whether a team interfered or not, because Cersei was going to kill the princess anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably would have been a lot easier for her to just do that.
I
And they
think
got her in prison.
I think Cersei would have probably been a better villain for the show than this constant going back and forth, killing her, saving her, killing her.
It's only revealed to us in the moment that she kills Nina how evil the princess actually is.
right,
Mhm.
correct.
Which I didn't feel much payoff from that personally.
I mean, there was really no tension with the princess.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Because, like, by the time it happened, I was like, oh, okay, like, I guess she's bad. It wasn't, like, a big shock.
I know.
I guess, like, it was almost supposed
know.
to be, but it's like, oh, like, I guess she doesn't really love Rick Flag or something. I don't really care.
What'd you think of Weasel being able to hurt Phosphorus?
That made no sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I don't get.
He's got him,
I'm
and he
very
was-
confused on like how powered and overpowered people are.
Because he melted through a guard's face 2 minutes before that.
Yeah.
Definitely burned
Weasel's
Weasel's-
face, yeah.
I can understand his control of his powers,
Yeah.
but if you're in pain, you kind of lose that control and maybe want to get him off you
Yeah.
quick enough to. He could have, like you said, he could have just melted his whole head right off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But whatever.
It's also confusing to me because it seems like if Dr. Phosphorus is in the mode where he's just like complete lava and burns
Right.
everything that touches him, because he was like taking bullets and like fucking getting ran over by a car at one
Yeah.
point. And it just went through him.
Well, he
or
went
it-
through a
he
tank.
went through it.
Melted
He walked
right
through
a
a tank.
tank. He melted through
So
the
like,
wall.
if he's in that mode, why don't they just get him to be like the solo guy and like he just does the whole mission by
Yeah, he
himself?
seems kind of invulnerable, invincible,
Yeah.
right?
Which
I'm also curious to know how Batman took him down.
Yeah.
True.
wasn't there
Yeah.
a scene at one point where there were bullets getting shot at him? He basically like took off his lab coat and the bullets just started melting.
I think
Yeah,
it's
right before he goes through the tank.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which he did very classy.
Yeah.
He had
Yes.
his
Yeah.
fingers
Yeah.
up and he right through their
I
face.
do love the action in those
Yeah.
sequences where
Yes.
his powers are used to their full extent.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't want to hurt Weasel.
I
the
guess.
reason?
That's
Yeah.
what I was
So he was
thinking. He pulled
controlling
his
it not
punches.
to hurt him
It makes sense that like
since he's a teammate.
he would have that much control as like a scientist type of guy, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like a Bruce Banner.
Yeah. Also, people are going to take this as like our issues like, oh, you want him to kill his teammate, but it's more like a power scaling issue
Yeah.
than it is
Yeah,
like a
right.
interpersonal conflict issue. Yeah, weird payoff with that stuff.
Again, I like the show.
You don't have to precede
I
everything
know.
with that.
But if Cersei was able to kill the princess as she wanted to in the beginning, Frank went on a whole murderous rage through this entire series.
Right.
I mean, how many people did he just
Yeah.
kill just in passing? 3 guys on an airplane here and there, just murdering people.
Yeah.
I think that might be the biggest plot hole in the show for me is if the Commandos just don't get involved, everything happens the way that it does anyway.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's all on Waller.
Another point that the Nando guy brought up is that it barely makes sense that like Cersei would have this like incel army because like she probably could have just done it by herself
Well, she
also.
definitely could have done it by herself.
Yeah, we said that in the beginning too.
Yeah.
Because she can fucking just
So
fly
powerful.
straight into it.
What the hell is she doing with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, they were a calling card that something's coming.
Another interesting thing was like in this future, Superman is killed and like Wonder
In
Woman is
that-
killed. And
yeah,
all,
all of them.
these people are killed.
Right.
So it makes me question how powerful the princess's army is with these like suits and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're still there.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if we're ever gonna see Khalistan again.
I wonder
Yeah.
if it's like maybe Grodd takes over
Maybe.
Khalistan or I wonder if like this whole vision thing is mentioned again.
Right. What was your favorite episode on this?
Definitely Priatel Skeleton.
That, I like that one too.
That was actually really
That's my
good.
favorite.
It just did like him escaping a well, you know,
Yeah.
just good like entry point.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't know. The music in that episode actually fit really well.
I honestly can't remember a single like song.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're pretty in tune with that stuff.
So yeah, the Bride is the new leader of the Commandos, which will include Dr. Phosphorus, Weasel, a new GI robot, and a handful of new
Yeah,
Commandos.
who's this Pharaoh-looking guy?
Well, let's start with King Shark.
King Shark.
Right.
Yeah,
who's
which
now
I always
on
liked him. He's a
Commandos.
stupid ass, but I liked him.
Yeah, I mean, I like the inclusion of King Shark
Yeah,
in the Commandos, but like, where the fuck was he?
yeah.
Because I mean, if you have Weasel, where's King Shark?
He
Why
was
not
with
just
the other,
have
he was
him?
with the other Suicide Squad. He was on a mission.
Is he? Did they mention that?
No.
No, but I'm just guessing. Just throwing things out there.
So then why wouldn't Weasel be?
That's
'Cause
fair because Weasel.
Weasel survived the
I mean,
beach.
You know, Shark was there. I think that would have been a good thing for Fish Woman. She would have had a friend.
She could have just not been in that fucking show. If they had
Yeah,
him.
he could have went in the water and killed it.
honestly,
Yeah.
they had done.
I mean, I think a
Yeah.
shark is a little bit more visible though.
Yeah.
You always got to
the-
show that.
The
fin and
Mummy Man
everything.
is Callus. He's a revived mummy who worked for Shade, a counterterrorism organization led by Father Time that uses the Creature Commandos as field agent.
All right.
Okay.
Nosferatu, the vampire woman that was
Woman.
with the gorilla.
Okay.
Powerful vampire who once fought Superboy to take over the wildlands.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of like the Commandos being misfit, barrel of shit people that doesn't matter if you just keep interchanging them, I guess.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting to me.
But kind of failed at that because half of them are, like you said, circumstantial.
Mm-hmm.
And they can be blown up at any time by
Yeah.
Waller.
But why give us a whole backstory behind them when they could be easily replaced?
Yeah.
The fish woman. The one thing I did not understand.
Like, I wonder what the structure of the second season is even going to be if we're going to get, like, some, like, more stories about them and shit.
I don't want to see more backstories.
There are shows where it's, like, it actually does, like, this backstory, like, every episode type thing very well, like Lost.
Even Euphoria season 1.
I feel like Lost, I don't know if any of you have seen Lost, but, like, the
Nope.
way it just interweaves it into the story is, like, so essential.
Right.
Where it's not just backstory, it interweaves itself so interestingly.
Yeah.
But
It's like
that's
shit
not even like a
reveals
great show,
itself.
but like it does it a lot better. But the only thing where it actually worked well for it was The Bride. But still, I feel like the characters do not really drive this show forward at all.
We're gonna get a lot of
Yeah.
lot of
Well,
people
It's
saying,
almost like he tried to do that in this show, but with 20-minute episodes, it's hard to really.
I just
you know,
feel like one of our big
capitalize on it.
concerns going into this episode was how they would wrap everything up. And I think it just all felt really rushed to me.
Yeah, but they didn't even wrap it all up because there's still open issues and questions. Like, what happens to the whole area where,
Pocahontas.
there's still a powerful force there.
Even like the explanation of how the bride figured it out is so just like,
She looks at some books.
yeah. I kind of like the idea of like Clayface just being like a hired gun though. It's kind of interesting.
yeah.
I feel like you could so much easier just like introduce all these characters and like why it has to be them by just like they all have some history with Pakistan. Like maybe Nina, she went to there to get surgery or some shit, or like GI Robot, he fought there at some point, or even Dr. Phosphorus. They just have him connected to like a random country with his wife. Like I feel like they could have just made that Pakistan. You know?
I mean, I don't even hate the fact that he doesn't have direct connection to the country. I think his is better than most in the sense where it's like, yeah, he's just like a fucked criminal and we're going to make him a part of this task
I mean, yeah, I
force.
get like all the powerful people on team, but like Nina, you know?
How did the bride know about Clayface?
Flag knew who he was.
Because she's still on a mission to kill the princess. She didn't get the message not to kill her yet, so how would she know that Clayface means bad?
John is the name of the ginger guy with the broken leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
He also knew Clayface because I mean, I guess he's a special operative
Yeah.
type of guy. Like he would know.
So I guess she must have came across a Clayface.
Chop that up to like he exists and like he's
And he's
a
bad.
known criminal maybe
And he's no, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
she worked it out like pretty well though,
yeah.
I'd
Very
say.
quickly.
instantaneously. Yeah.
Also, this is a world where Batman is pretty like developed
And
like,
metahumans exist.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
prominently.
So maybe if just Batman is like probably the biggest guy, maybe people just are familiar with his rogues gallery. Anybody have a least favorite episode? I'll go with the pilot, just because I feel like that is very pilot syndrome.
Yeah, pilot's pretty weak. I don't know. This episode is not great in my opinion.
That's what I
It's
was
pretty
just
bad.
thinking. I just, again, I don't, why show us a background on a character that didn't do anything the whole time? And then get him killed in the same episode. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's such unfortunately a nothing character. I'm curious to see like what people have to say in defense of her that
I
aren't
can't wait to
just
see the
like
comments for it. Yeah.
fans of fish,
Oh, yeah, we should
like people on this podcast.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious.
It was flawed, like the ending part was rushed, but still fun.
Okay, yeah, good take.
This is for the question, did you like the ending, by the way? It was great, but Frankenstein was just there. He could have been completely removed from the story.
I
Dang,
kind of
that's a
agree.
good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He didn't have to be in
Like
the
I
entire
said, he's
series.
kind of just a nothing catalyst character,
Yeah.
and his whole purpose, I guess, for the whole show is that he
Was
could
to-
show up,
and get his bride.
It's
And
just to
show up
develop
and
the
get
bride.
shot.
just show up and kind of fuck everyone over a little
Yeah.
bit.
The bride has like two characters develop her. It's just weird.
Mhm.
I didn't like how Nina died.
I didn't either.
The Tin Man lives, and rest in peace, Nina.
The
The
Tin Man
final
was-
episode was amazing.
I don't know, man.
Nina
Who
was
said
just there to make us cry. Crying emoji.
It didn't make me do
That's-
anything.
that? Yeah, I didn't feel much of anything from.
She gave
Nina.
empathy.
King Shark would have easily killed the princess if he was on the team.
Yep.
That's a good fucking take right
Good-
there.
good
King
point.
Shark would have fucking
we said that.
murdered the
Right?
princess.
Just-
Devoured her.
Yeah, you're just eating her.
Because he's almost like a Hulk type character.
I also just love the fact
What was his
that
thing? Food?
he stuffed everything in his mouth.
Food?
yeah,
To be honest, the show was great. Didn't give insane ambitions and wasn't boring. If you're upset with it, you're just a hater who needs to take a chill pill.
Oh.
For haters.
Need to
But
bring
we're
some
not
chocolate.
haters.
Bottle.
no, I know, I'm kidding.
No, I don't think any of us hated
Yeah,
it.
we don't
I
know.
didn't hate it.
I just think I liked it
Again.
a little bit more than you guys did.
Yeah,
Probably.
it's not my favorite thing that James Gunn has done, and there's a lot of recycled James Gunn beats in here that kind of just don't
That I have to agree
work
with.
for me.
Yes.
Yeah, there was my expectation, and then there was the show.
I mean, we've said this before. It's a tough one to have as the introduction to your new universe.
Right.
Yeah.
There's parts of it that are kind of actually good in that aspect where it's like Batman's been around and stuff,
Yeah.
and like, oh, there's these cities that exist.
Hell no! Nina got killed by Princess Peach. Not only was I blindsided by the fact that she was no more powerful than an average human, but it doesn't make any damn sense.
Ooh, I like that.
Apply to that guy. Seriously, they try to set up a subversion for the princess too, only for the bride to call her out on it like 5 seconds later, literally making it a waste of time besides to kill off the best character. Annoying. So, that guy had me in the first half until he said Nina's the best character.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, how can you even say she's the best? She fucking wasn't even there half the time. She was just like
Yeah, I don't know about the best character.
kind of quiet and doing nothing.
I don't get like how people can connect so much to like a dependent character. It was a complete 50-50. Honestly, my least favorite episode of the season.
Agree.
Hate that Flag's dead, but yes.
Flag's not dead.
Flag isn't dead. He's gonna be the next Superman movie. He's dead in Creature Commandos.
What the fuck are you talking about?
When did he die? He's in the hospital, but he never died. It's an interconnected universe between Creature Commandos and the rest of the DCU. So Rick Flag Sr. is alive. I see.
That was my favorite run of comments.
Oh,
The he's dead in Creature Commandos is such a good fucking comeback comment to that.
Fucking might as well have been.
He's dead in Creature Commandos. Sure, man.
oh boy.
So 80% of people said that they liked the ending.
Really?
Yeah. And we got, how many votes? Over 1,000.
1,600.
Wow.
We're not haters.
No, I mean, I thought the show was just kind of mid.
And that's why I'll be putting it at a 5 out of 10.
Whoa.
I remember the 6.
Five,
yeah, I was
five
gonna-
and a half.
I'm
myself.
definitely leaning towards a 6. Not even like a 5.5.
I found more like in it than I didn't.
Mm.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6 too.
And I'll watch season 2.
pretty neutral in my opinion. There's positives, but just a pretty mid show.
I just hope it's like that one of those things where like there's so many shows where it's the first season's the worst thing ever and then sets up the rest of the show better.
Guardians 3 did a significantly better job at developing tragic backstory and having it come to the forefront to the current issues that the team was facing.
5. It's a 5. But I'm looking ahead.
Yeah,
Prospects
I
for the
think
future.
Superman's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Excited for season 2?
I am.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no loss.
But I'm also excited to see where some of these, little snippets that we got from this, where they go and where they show up.
This whole team, I feel like the problem with like 95% of them, like maybe not including the bride, is like they're almost like more interesting if they kind of just pop up elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like Flag being in Superman
Yeah.
is like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool that he would like be a part of that.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we see a Walla pop up
Oh,
in
yeah.
Superman?
I'm sure she'll be in everything.
One thing you were talking about with Frankenstein, where he can only get shot in his eyes, confused me because then she
shot him
That's
10
what,
times
that's what I was
everywhere
saying. Yeah,
else.
she shot,
Yeah.
and he was bleeding and looked like he was going to bleed out.
Yeah.
and he was definitely in bad shape.
Well,
and was
she has the Franken
incapacitated.
gun.
Oh, maybe that's true.
I don't know. I made that up 2 seconds ago.
Right? That was our review and overview of
Season 1 of Creature Commandos.
Commandos.
Yeah,
Did you like this show? Comment down below.
Rip Nina.
sure.
Rapu?
Who?
Oh,
All right.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.